What's up, guys? Episode 4 of I Dare You to Love. In this episode, I'm going to tackle indecisiveness. You know that super tightness in your chest, or that like claustrophobic feeling you get when everyone's waiting for you to order at the restaurant, or you've got a big life decision to make and you can't quite figure it out, can't take in enough information to make that happen. Well, here's how to love it. Real basic, at the very top level, it exists. Without it, I would not know what clarity feels like. Okay, so I would not be able to perceive clarity if I didn't have the opposite, which is indecisiveness. And I love the feeling of clarity, so let's keep it. Let's keep indecisiveness. Even bigger than that, I believe that the design is perfect. The universal design is perfect, so I gotta know that there's a reason for the anxiety I'm feeling when I'm feeling indecisive. And with that anxiety, that's why I know it needs to be loved, because if I can't love it, then I can't accept it, and I'm going to resist it, and it's never going to work for me. So this is the way to make it work for me. As is with anything, in my opinion, our anxiety, the anxiety that we feel, means that we are thinking opposite of the truth. And in the moments of not being able to pull the trigger, I think typically what I'm thinking is that there's a right or wrong answer, that the decision has to be made right now, and or that there is that it's going to matter in the long term. And a lot of times those three things aren't the case. So a lot of times there's not a right or wrong answer. A lot of times the decision does not have to be made right now. And once you recognize that your body is telling you, that your mind's telling you, hey, you're thinking incorrectly about this, it slows the process down. It lets you accept it and chill, relax. So I love it for that. It gives me that guidance. Reality is if you can't decide, don't. The bottom line is, if you can't decide, don't, because you're not in a position. You're in a position of you're in a position of, I need more information. And if you're like me, like you're thinking there's a right and wrong answer off the times, and your identity and your happiness and your reputation is connected to how right and how wrong you are, or in general you're just committed to making the right decisions in your life, and you want things to lead to your happiest end, then you really get frozen up on that, and you want to be in that position. You're in the mode of taking more information in and weighing out pros and cons, so you delay, and it starts to stress you out. But the reality is when you're taking in pros and cons, you're in the wrong vibration anyway, so don't decide. If you can't decide, don't. That's why I love indecisiveness, because that anxiety I feel is telling me all that I need to know to get me to the best end. So if you can't decide, don't. The reality, again, is that when you're taking in pros and cons, you're doing it only to exhaust your brain. When you do that exercise of I need more information, you're doing it to exhaust the analytical side of your brain until you get to the bottom line gut feeling that you had the second you were placed in front of that choice. You know deep down inside the right answer. And so go ahead and do the pros and cons thing, and eventually you're going to run out of gas. You're going to stop. You're going to basically say screw it and pull the trigger on something that you know on the baseline that you knew all along. So it has a great purpose. It tells you, don't decide, you're not ready, you're not in the right position. It says that there is no right or wrong answer typically. It doesn't necessarily, the decision doesn't have to be made now. So it's telling you all these things, and in those moments of feeling that anxiety, if you just reverse the thought process and start repeating, hey, it doesn't need to be made now, there is no right or wrong answer, then you're good. And it tells you, hey, just wait. The timing's not quite right. You know how when you have a desire for something and you're hemming and hawing about it, and then the second you're clear about it, the universe presents it to you. That's what it's telling you. You're not quite clear on it yet, so basically you really don't want it. Trust me, you don't want it yet, because you don't know that you definitely do. It's really awesome. I think the bottom line on it now, though, the reason I really love indecisiveness and the anxiety that comes along with it is because it tells me to faith up. I have habitually tried to control my external world to make it align for my happiness, to use the external world and to control my surroundings. And if I could control my surroundings really successfully, then I know that I'll have a better chance of being happy. And anxiety over not being able to decide and pull the trigger has told me, has given me a reason to bump up my faith, to faith up in the universe, in God, that no matter what I choose, things are going to be cool. And that's huge. That's a huge, huge thing. If not God, or if not the universe for you, just have faith that you'll be able to make the best out of whatever it is that you pull the trigger on. It's just your regret. It's just your indecisiveness in general. If you were to pull the trigger, you think that you made the wrong choice because your vibration was wrong. But the reality is if you went into it going, hey, screw it, I'll figure it out, and you just pulled the trigger, it's going to be fine. So have faith in at least yourself. And I think that this is what it's doing for me recently, is it's reminding me to have faith in something greater than what I am. And that's a great place to be, man, because that spills over into the rest of my life. So for that reason, I really, really love indecisiveness. It's a great tool, it's a guidance tool, and most importantly, it's getting me to bump up my faith in the world. So I'm loving it. I love you guys too. Comment below, drop some suggestions over what new topics we should do. Subscribe if you'd like. But this is fun. I love you guys. Talk soon.